Hello everyone, welcome to Political Science Chit Chat YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about International Terrorism chapter, short question with answer. So let's start. The first question is, what is terrorism? Terrorism is the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, to achieve political, religious, or ideological goal. It aims to create fear, disrupt society, and draw attention to a cause. Tactics often include bombing, assassination, or hostage taking. Terrorism can be domestic or international, and it carried out by individual groups or even states. Government and global bodies condemn terrorism and strive to counter it through law, intelligence, and military action. Second question is, what is Al Qaeda? The answer is, Al Qaeda is a global militant Islamist organization founded by Osama bin Laden in 1988. It gained worldwide notoriety for orchestrating the 9/11 attack on the US in 2001. The group promote a radical interpretation of Islam and seek to establish a global caliphate. It has inspired or directed terrorist attacks worldwide. Despite leadership losses and counter-terrorism efforts, Al Qaeda remain active through regional affiliates like AQAP and AQIM in Africa and the Middle East. Third question is, what is first wave of terrorism? The answer is, the first wave, called the anarchist wave, began in the late 19th century, lasted into the earlier 20th century. It was marked by political violence aimed at overthrowing monarchies and colonial regime. Influenced by anarchist ideology, groups used assassination and bombing. Key events include the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in 1914. This wave reflected anti-governmental sentiments and modern terrorism. Tactics like suicide attack began to emerge during this period. Next questions. What is second wave of terrorism? Second wave of terrorism, known as the anti-colonial waves. This phase began in the 1920s and intensified after World War II. It was driven by nationalist groups fighting to end colonial rule primarily in the Asia, Africa, and Middle East. Tactics include guerrilla warfare, bombing, and attack on colonial authorities. Notable groups include the FLN in Algeria and the Irgun in Israel. This movement sought international legitimacy and often transitioned into political parties after gaining independence. Next question. What is third wave of terrorism? The third wave of terrorism, or the new left wave, started in the 1960s, inspired by anti-imperialism and Marxist ideology. It included groups like the Red Army faction in Germany and the Weather Underground in the US. This organization targeted capitalist institutions, government figure, and symbol of Western imperialism. Hijacking, kidnapping, and bombing were common. While often localized, their causes reflected global concern, including the Vietnam War, racism, and corporate exploitation. Next question. What is fourth wave of terrorism? The answer is, the fourth wave or religious wave emerged in the late 1970s, gaining momentum after the 1979 Iranian Revolution. It marked a shift towards religious motivation, particularly Islamic fundamentalism. Groups like Al Qaeda, ISIS, and Hezbollah rose to prominence. Unlike earlier waves, this phase included global networks and a focus on martyrdoms. The 9/11 attack symbolized this wave. It continues to impact international security and politics, with many states increasingly surveillance and counter-terrorism operation. Next question: what is right-wing terrorism? The answer is right-wing terrorism is driven by extreme nationalist, fascist, or racist ideology. It targets minorities, immigrant, leftist groups, and governments. Common in the US and Europe, such terrorism has seen a resurgence in the recent decades. Groups like the Ku Klux Klans and neo Nazis use hate speech, mass shooting, and bombing. These terrorists often believe in the white supremacy, anti government, conspiracy theory, or anti communism. Social media has amplified their recruitment and propaganda efforts. Next questions: what is left wing terrorism? Left wing terrorism seeks to overthrow capitalist system and establish socialist or communist society inspired by Marxist or anarchist ideology. Such groups targeted corporation, government institution, and right-wing entities. Examples include the Red Brigades in Italy and FARC in Colombia. Tactics include kidnapping, bombing, and assassination. Most active during the Cold War, left-wing terrorism has declined globally but remained a concern in certain regions where inequality and political unrest persist. Next question: what is cross-border terrorism? The answer is cross-border terrorism refers to terrorist act planned or supported from one country and executed in another. It often involves state support or non-state actor operating across international boundaries. South Asia, particularly India-Pakistan relations, highlights these issues. Groups like Lashkar-e-Toiba have been linked to attack in India, allegedly supported from across border. Cross-border terrorism complicates diplomacy, fuel conflicts, and lead to heightened military responses and demands for international cooperation. Next question: what is Khalistan terrorist? The answer is Khalistan terrorism seeks to create an independent six states Khalistan separate from India. It gained momentum in the 1980s, marked by violence in Punjab, including the assassination of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. Key groups like Babar Khalsa and Khalistan Commando Force were involved in bombing and assassination. Supported by diaspora group abroad, Khalistan terrorism declined after heavy security crackdown but still exists in limited form through propaganda and financing from overseas network. Next question: what is post 9/11 development? The answer is after 9/11 global security policies transformed, the US launched the on terror, invading Afghanistan and later Iraq. Counter-terrorism law expanded intelligence sharing, increased and airport security tightens. International coalition targeted terror groups like Al Qaeda and ISIS. The UN passed a resolution to combat terrorism financing. Surveillance technology and drone warfare advanced, while major terror networks, wicked, lone wolf, and cyber terrorism emerged as new threats in the evolving global security landscape. Next question is: what is state terrorism? The state terrorism involves government using violence or intimidation against their own people or other to maintain control or push political agendas. It includes mass killing, then torture or repression against civilian, political opponents, or military groups. Examples include the Nazi regime, Stalin purges, and action by authoritarian regime in Latin America. State terrorism blur legal boundaries, often hiding behind national security justification, and poses ethical and legal challenges in the international relation. And the last question is, what is 9/11 attack? The answer is, on September 11, 2001, 19th Al Qaeda terrorist hijacked four US planes, crashing into the World Trade Center in the New York and one into the Pentagon. The fourth plan, the fourth plane, United Flight 93, crashed in Pennsylvania after passenger resisted. Nearly 3,000 people died. The attack shocked the world, leading to the US invasion of Afghanistan and the war on terror. It redefined global security policy and marked a major escalation in the religious terrorism. तो यह थिला तुमर +3 4 सेमिस्टर पॉलिटिकल साइंस ऑनर्स रो को रिटन पेपर ग्लोबल पॉलिटिक्स टेररिज्म ऊपर है। आशा करूँ वीडियो भल लगी। इफ यू फाउंड दिस वीडियो हेल्पफुल, do not forget to like, comment and subscribe for more content. See you next time. Thank you.